alive. All right.
I don't have it. I'm not ready.
You're literally on right now.
Okay, there we go. No, my mic wasn't working. There we go.
Oh.
As you can tell, we were very unprepared today. But yeah, we are here. What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Renegade Roundtable here on Revolution Radio. I'm Jeff Kirby. We've got Caleb.
What's up?
We've got Stone, who came like last second.
Running in.
Yeah, literally. You should have seen her. So we got here. So we all finally got in. And then she was like, how long do we have left before we go on? I'm like, 20 seconds. So she starts running so she could go turn her fan on.
It was hot. Leave me alone. It's hot in Georgia. It's hot, y'all.
Y'all got some good peaches, though. I can admit that.
It's hot.
Because apparently I didn't know this. My mother, she was like, yeah, I have a whole box of peaches from Georgia now. So I'm like, oh.
It's literally called the Peach State, Kirby.
You know, I didn't pay attention much in history and geography and all that, so I don't know how much you did. I did not at all. Caleb, you seem like a guy that knows a lot about geography.
That's rude to say that about Caleb, but all right.
No,
I'll take that, though. I will take that.
Yeah, that's a compliment. I'm thinking
It's
that
a compliment.
You look like you've seen a book before in your lifetime. So.
Who, me?
No,
him?
not you, Caleb.
I definitely. There's one person here that looks like they've touched a book the least. It's definitely me out of this. But I mean, pretty soon I might have to touch a book because we do know a certain author.
I don't know who though. It's not me.
We'll have to see what happens with that. But other than that, how's everyone doing in the chat? So we got Jared, yo, what's up? Happy Thursday. And then Shade says, Jeff, great shirt. Yeah. This is from 2019 when we beat Cleveland after the whole Myles Garrett thing, blah, blah, blah. Y'all know that story. Which I still have seen some people go at. Anytime Myles Garrett says anything, I see Steeler fans talk about that. I'm like, I've been over that for a year now. I don't know how you guys have felt, but...
Quit making that guy relevant to us in any way, shape, or form.
What's funny though with me is I was actually at that game. Like I saw that event with my own two eyes, and I'm like, oh, that walk back home, or that walk, not walk back home, that'd be a long walk. That walk back to the car in the cold, I'll say was hell. I will say that. But what's up, Jay? I see you. I'll be over at your house in like an hour and 10 minutes or so after the show. But yeah, a lot of stuff has gone on with Renegade Roundtable in the last day or so.
It's been crazy.
It's been crazy. We have
nuts.
You said what? What'd you say?
I said it's been nuts.
Yeah. Got a giveaway going. So if you are watching this now, be sure to go and check our Twitter. Our Twitter at Renegade.
Not our Twitter.
At Renegade_table. We have a giveaway going. Be sure to go and enter that. And then also, we finally have some merch. We finally have some shirts. So if you want to get, as Jay says, I'd buy the shirt, but you know, hey, listen.
I don't know. What's the problem? I don't know, Jay.
All of my Browns fan friends have said, you know, I would love to buy a shirt. I actually did have I had a couple people who are Browns fans that said they still bought one, so I'm thankful for that. But yeah, look at it this way.
None of my friends will buy a shirt. It's so rude, but it's fine.
You said what?
You need to find better friends.
I know. I need better friends. I'm now taking friend applications to anybody watching.
Open interviews.
At that point. At that point, Stone's gonna say, "Yeah, if you want to be my friend, please email for friends. Please
friend
email
inquiries,
me at."
Please send emails too.
You gotta check your email, and it's just gonna be.
No, nobody wants to be my friend because I'm mean.
I mean, we're your friends.
Are we friends though?
Are we?
Are we?
I don't know.
Are we even real people? I mean, come on.
I don't know. We might.
I'm a robot. I'm still a robot from a
I was
couple
gonna
weeks
say.
ago. So
I mean, outside of everyone in the comments was just what Jay said. I'll still probably buy one though, just to support me.
To support Jeff. Boo.
Well, he knows me. I'm literally.
Boo.
Well, when you support me, that means you're supporting all three of us. Which, Jay said, "What the hell is going on? I don't know." And then Jared in the comments says, "I'm your friend."
Jared is my friend.
Jared has been a friend of the show for a while. Not for a while, since day one. So
Yeah.
we appreciate that. We appreciate everyone who I guess to support all of y'all. And then Michael said, "Excuse me."
Oh yeah,
Stone.
I'm sorry.
LOL.
Yeah, that's my buddy too.
God.
I have like 3 friends. It's I'm pretty well known.
Oh, here we go. You know what's so funny is that's literally our hashtag, and then the amount of times I just naturally say, "Oh, here we go," not realizing that.
Wait, you're usually talking to me though.
I mean, I do it to everyone. Shade says Stone really ignoring all of Steeler Twitter.
I wasn't on Twitter yesterday because I was, getting my tattoo, and then today I was working like the adult that I'm supposed to be, and I missed Twitter, and I came back and everything was on fire.
Yeah, everything has gone straight to hell.
but when is it not on fire though?
It's like harder when I'm not there though, because usually I can keep up so it doesn't seem like such a fire. But when I came back, I was like, I literally have no effing clue what's going on. So I'm just not going to participate.
Yeah, it's Steeler Twitter, Pittsburgh Twitter has just been, you have to be there. Like, it's different when you're a part of the community rather than just following a couple Steeler fans. You have to be a part of that. There are certain people that you have to follow in order to really know what the hell is going on with the Pittsburgh sports world. And all 3 of us are 3 of the people you better follow for that. So, especially Caleb. We're going to get Caleb famous. I promise you, we're going to get Caleb famous.
And unfollow.
That's not nice. Do we
okay,
not?
so I see there's some hostility in the comments today.
Yeah, we're choosing. I guess everyone is choosing violence today. But you know who won't be choosing violence is fans of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Dude, we've had an amazing week this week. We haven't lost a game since Saturday. That's cool. Okay. We had 2 people starting in the All-Star game. That's 2 more than your Indians, Jeff. Okay.
Hold on. Time out. Not time out. I understand we're a Pittsburgh show here, but I still got to defend my Cleveland Indians when slander comes apart. Who is still who still has a chance at the playoffs this year?
How many World Series do you guys have?
How many Cy Young Award winners do you have on your roster?
I don't even know who we got on our roster. No, I'm just messing with you. No, we have.
I definitely don't know.
No, we had a good week this week. We had the draft, which is, an exciting time for a rebuilding team. We got 4 of probably the top 30 prospects in the draft, which is really cool. And like our future's looking bright. We're probably just slingshotted ourselves past the Blue Jays and past and honestly, with this deadline coming up, probably past the Rays too for the #1 farm system in baseball. We got GM Ben Cherington running the ship, and he's doing a really good job. Honestly, it's exciting to be a Pirates fan.
I mean, as you can see, I did come a little bit prepared to talk.
Oh my God.
To talk a little bit of Pirates. So let's go ahead and let's start. Someone please screenshot that.
I'm out.
Someone
That's enough.
Screenshot
Bye.
that because that was.
Bye.
Oh.
Even Caleb's like, no, we're not. Like, we're funny, but stop. That's too much.
Nah. It is what it is. We'll welcome Pirates fans, even if you're only a little bit of Pirates fan.
I mean, if it makes you feel any better, I did say whenever I get the opportunity to, I want to get a custom Pirates jersey with my name on the back of it because.
Just do it.
I'm thinking
because then you can't be traded.
Yeah, I can't be traded, so I'll have a lifetime contract and I'll get paid absolutely zero. But There's a certain one that I want to get. I want to get the cursive Pittsburgh.
The dark one or the gray one?
I would prefer the dark one, but they're a pain in the butt to get. And when I go to Pittsburgh at some point, that's when I would probably get it. It's when I go out there.
Yeah. So no, with our picks, I would just like to highlight those first four. We got Henry Davis, right? Everyone was expecting like Marcelo Mayer or one of the Vanderbilt pitchers, but we went under slot. We honestly, in a lot of people's opinion, got the best hitter in college baseball, which is going to help our system. He's not a crazy, like his floor is the highest of probably most of the prospects. He might not be the next Francisco Lindor, but he's going to be a decent major leaguer, and that's the kind of stuff we need.
So here's the thing real quick about Lindor, what you said. Lindor, when he was a prospect, people were really looking at him more of as an Omar Vizquel 2.0. Great defense, but didn't really have the power. And then he came to the majors, and that power just came out of nowhere. And he became the best shortstop in the league for a few years.
Hang on, I want to time out before you guys go on and just make it very clear that I don't know anything about baseball. I don't enjoy baseball. I'm going to go to a baseball game in Pittsburgh one day, but because I don't want people to think that I'm an idiot. I just don't care for baseball. So.
Well, Jay said PNC is cool as hell. We're planning our PNC trip.
I want to go though. I've seen it looks really cool.
Yeah. So
best ballpark in the majors.
I want to go.
It has one of the best from pictures. Baseball. It seems like it has one of the best views. I mean, I've been to Pittsburgh one time. I've gotten to walk down the bridge one time, but that seems like a very good view.
Oh, it's a beautiful ballpark. It's not as like crazy huge stadium. It's more of like a close to the action feel. It's like a classic style ballpark. You got to go there. You can't be a fan of baseball and not eventually make the trip to PNC Park someday.
Caleb is in his zone right now. He's like, it's beautiful, and you will never slander it. I swear I will.
Respect our ballpark.
Well, like I said, at some point I'm gonna have to go inside of it and see for my own two eyes.
Hey, I'm almost down there every other weekend. You should come along with me sometime.
We'll have to plan that out.
I'm going down this Saturday to see your boy Lindor.
This Saturday I have things going on. We're gonna have to plan it out where all three of us go.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Wait, where are we going?
We're going to Mars. I don't
want to go to space. I have no desire to go to space.
All right, I guess we're gonna go to Salt Lake City. No, we're gonna plan a trip to go to Pittsburgh.
Old people?
Huh?
Are we old people? Like elderly people go to Salt Lake City.
I go to Salt Lake City.
Well, thank you for killing every single person that was a fan of us from Salt Lake City.
I said what I said, okay?
Jay said it's not even top 3 though. Excuse us, Jeff.
Well, see, here's the thing. I might sound like a biased Pirates fan by saying that.
I love it.
Here's what I could say about Progressive Field. Obviously, as someone who was just there, where I saw a very entertaining game with Jay. Shout out to Jay. He was the one in the chat. He was the one that came up with the idea of us going, and we set it up, and it was a hell of a time. But what I can say about Progressive Field now, it doesn't have the same feel as it was before I got the renovations in 2013, somewhere in that range. The old, I guess you want to say old, where it was when it was beginning part of Progressive Field or later parts of Jacobs Field. It felt like baseball. You walked in that stadium and it felt like baseball. Like, don't get me wrong, it feels like baseball now, but it doesn't have that same pizzazz as it did before. Jay says Camden Yards is way better than both, for real.
Is it though?
I've never been. Jay here in the comments, he's been to a bunch of baseball parks, and he raves about Camden Yards a lot.
See, here's the thing. Camden Yards is older than PNC Park, designed by the same architect in the same style of the retro classics. But it was the first one of those retro classics. PNC Park is 8 years newer than Camden Yards, and it has a way better view. You're not looking at some ugly looking brick building. You got our
but that
city
brick building is cool.
Oh, it's cool though, but PNC Park is better. Camden Yards is up there though.
Stone is just sitting here like if you had a boyfriend that was talking sports with their friends and you have no idea what the hell is going on. So you're just like, what's going on with my latest
sports.
Yeah. Did Michael Jordan score that touchdown?
That was a brilliant touchdown. No, I was listening, obviously, so I could, try to figure out what the hell
is going on here. This is
But then Caleb was like, it's designed by the same architect. It's only 8 years. Like, okay, Google, Jesus, like that's a lot of random baseball info. I'm not mad at you. I respect that. I wish I knew that much about baseball, but you came out with that like so quick. I was like, what, sir? What?
Shade says Stone looks like you would rather talk about Ravens football right now.
Oh, no. I'd rather put my face on a George Foreman grill than talk about Ravens football.
I mean, here's the good thing. Here's the thing, though. You could talk Ravens football. All it is just you slander them. You can slander their fan base. You can slander whatever you want. You could always put it that way. I mean, he said what? As you can tell, we are a very hot mess. And then Shade says, LOL, here comes let's talk Ravens football.
We're not talking Ravens football. That's not going to happen. You clicked the wrong show, my friend.
No one here cares about the Ratbirds.
Lamar is a running back. Well, that is very true.
He's a great running back.
Jay also says here in the chat that Miller Park is way better. Or not way better, but he says Miller Park is better than both as well.
I'm gonna pull back on this one.
Because he also claimed that you were a very biased Pirates fan.
See, here's the thing. I am a biased Pirate. I'm a biased Pirates fan, okay?
I love it.
There you go, Stone. But honestly, if you look at some of the national media and you look at people who travel to all the parks, they rank PNC Park up there. They rank it with Fenway. They rank it with Wrigley. They have PNC Park
But here's the thing, though. I feel like, too, when you talk about Fenway and you talk about Wrigley, I think a lot of that is just the pure history of the stadium.
It's nostalgia. It's not necessarily the stadium itself is better. So, yeah, those two are like the mecca of baseball, right? You have all the history behind it, right? But if you get rid of history and you're just talking best baseball stadium, the Pirates have one of the top three, if not top two in baseball. And it is up there with Camden Yards. It's up there with there. But I just think PNC Park has a slightly better view.
Can confirm.
And I mean,
one of the
American Family Insurance Field is nowhere even close to Camden Yards or PNC Park.
Wait, hold on. Well, no, I'm not going to sit here and say Progressive Field. I understand Progressive Field is the middle of the park, ballpark. I understand it. I probably would put it somewhere between 14 and 20 without actually sitting here and ranking. Somewhere.
See, I don't know. I would probably go 10 to 15. It's probably 10 to 15 rank.
Well, because looking at it this way,
it's an above average ballpark.
To me, and also because I look at it too as stadiums that I really want to go to. Dodger Stadium is up there. I don't know what it is. I just love Dodger Stadium. Obviously, if you're a baseball fan, you gotta want to go to Wrigley. You gotta want to go to Fenway. Mm-hmm. Busch Stadium for me, which could very well be happening later this year, for me. And also, what is the Giants ballpark now? It's not Oracle anymore.
Is it?
I don't know what it's called, but that's a stadium I really want to go to. You can't get rid of history. That's not how it goes. Also, if you've never been, you can't speak. Just saying.
Well, see, here's the thing. I'm not getting rid of history because, like, the history has what puts those two at the top. But that doesn't rank the actual stadium itself. I mean, honestly, even after renovations, both of those, like, the actual stadium is not that great. There's history that puts it at the top. But if you're just ignoring that and you're just going with baseball stadium, you got where the Giants play. I'm Oracle Park now. I don't know. They change the name of that one every other year. You got Camden Yards and you got PNC Park. Those are the top. Honestly, Truist Park, where the Braves play, that's up there now too. But
I've been there.
That place is awesome.
I don't know. I don't really like baseball, so I mean, the beer was fine and the hot dogs were pretty good. Like I don't like baseball. I can't get into it. It's so slow for me. Like I wish I liked.
Stone actually brings up a point with something with baseball here.
Hot dogs.
What Stone says, who isn't a diehard baseball fan, she made the point of what a lot of people say and what is wrong. I guess one of the things that could be wrong with baseball is the time of play. It's too slow, where a real diehard baseball fan can appreciate a pitcher's duel. It can appreciate a very good pitching performance. Mm-hmm. But if you want to, I guess, a casual fan or a fan who doesn't really like baseball, they want to see the home runs. They want to see a lot of runs scored.
Because especially like I'm a big football fan. That's my go-to sport is football.
Right.
I love hockey second, but it's so active. There's so much contact. There's so much going on. It's hard to go from that to baseball. And so, when you're used to stuff just happening like that, and then you try to watch baseball, it's like, well, and I'm not saying it's not athletic, because it obviously is. It is. But it's like, are you guys going to do something?
Well, here's the thing.
You know what I mean? Like this,
baseball,
you know what I'm saying? I don't mean that in a mean way.
Baseball, I think baseball is underrated in terms of people understanding how hard it is.
Yeah. I've known baseball players. It's very athletic. It's very hard work. It's a lot of dedication. It is.
Yeah, and I just think. And here's the thing too. We're in an era of right now the young stars in Major League Baseball. The talent level is at a level where the level of baseball, the fandom of baseball, where baseball is at in terms of where they are with the fans, should be higher and can be higher. Because you look at the young stars like Ronald Acuna Jr., Fernando Tatis Jr., Vladimir Guerrero, just to name off Shohei Ohtani, even though he's a little bit older than those guys that I mentioned. But the young stars in this game right now are electric. They try to make the game fun. Although we know what's going on with Trevor Bauer, and that's not looking good. But before all the scandal stuff, he was trying his hardest to make the game of baseball fun, and he was trying to get closer to us, the fans. And I feel like there's an age gap between how the way Robert Manfred is running the show versus how some of the other entities like NBA, ML, or NFL, how they're running things, where the fans are more attached to the game rather than baseball. And there's so many things that you can point at on what's the issue. I mean, it sucks because baseball is such a fun game to watch, but right now it's in a sticky situation. No pun intended.
Oh, I see what you did there. For somebody who doesn't know anything about baseball, I sure did get that joke. Anyway.
But yeah, Hunter says watching this while I'm in the car on my way to vacation, and also he bought a T-shirt today, so appreciate you.
Hunter.
Appreciate you. But yeah, baseball is. Yeah, there's. I feel like us fans feel like here's the issue though too.
What were you saying? I don't understand it. I don't understand baseball, so it's hard for me to watch it and enjoy it because I'm trying to figure out what the heck is going on. I understand the basic concept of baseball, but I don't understand it. Like when you and Caleb were talking about, you guys are going in depth. I'm like, what language are you guys talking? Because this is not English.
So this is how it is. So this is how now you know how I feel when you two talk hockey.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But yeah, baseball is a very in terms of analytics too.
No, Hunter.
That takes it to a whole nother ball game. And Hunter here in the group chat, he or not in the group chat, in the chat. He plays. I love. I see you in the. I see you in the comments, Hunter. But he plays baseball, so he understands the big aspect of baseball. He understands all the analytics and stuff. But I'll be honest, I could call myself a quote unquote casual fan. I'll say that right now. I mean, I'll watch my Indians when I can, but it's, I don't know, baseball. And then obviously I know we're in a whole situation with the owners and stuff, which, I mean, it is what it is. That's what happens when you're a middle market team. You're paying big bucks for a player just seems like it's never going to happen. Which is funny because the Pirates, if I'm not mistaken, the Pirates and the Indians have the two lowest, biggest contracts in their franchise's history. Your guys,
yes, we're like we're way lower than what the Indians even are too.
No, the Indians, your guys' biggest contract was I think it was just below us in terms of biggest contract that we've ever given out was Edwin Encarnacion in 2017.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah, for $60 million. That was the biggest contract we ever gave out, which is where we actually had a decent sized payroll that year, where we decided to blow away 2-0 lead to the Yankees. But that's a different story for a different day.
I think our largest is 56 million.
So yeah, it's very low.
Yeah.
Which what I can say about the Indians part is that's what makes what they've done so incredible. The fact that they don't have these big time players, these big payday players, but they were still able to have the success that they were able to have. Obviously the Pirates, in your guys' case, you haven't had as much success, but right now your future is looking very bright.
I mean, we had a good run there from 12 to 16, so.
Yeah, but I mean, like right now, you guys understand, like your guys' fan base understands that, hey, we're not good. We know this. We have a couple good guys, but our future, our bread and butter is going to be a few years from now. Which is for you guys, what should be very exciting because we find.
What are you talking about?
No, I'm well aware. No, the problem is Pirates fans get so like jaded over the fact that we've been rebuilding for all this long time.
You're like,
no, it's because I'm just like taking it in. Because everyone claims like, oh, we've been rebuilding for all these years. We have no, I mean, rebuilding as in just tearing everything apart, but there was never any rebuild.
Mm-hmm.
There was no rebuild.
It was an improvement in order for it to be a rebuild. You can't just keep tearing it down.
They were just tearing it down, or they were selling off the entire farm system, and the trades didn't bring back anything. I mean, look at the Chris Archer trade. Literally everybody in baseball knows how like pathetic that Chris Archer trade is. On the other end, why the Rays have been so good because they keep fleecing all these teams. But with Cherington coming in, this is the first time in a while we've actually stopped and rebuilt the Pirates. And I mean, look at it. We went from probably a top 25 farm system, like probably way down there, to now we're ranked like consistently across like different rankings. We're ranked third, only behind the Blue Jays and the Rays. And we're going to, after this is not even including this draft. And then you add in what we're going to get by dealing people like Tyler Anderson, Adam Frazier, maybe even Rich Rod at the deadline. We're going to slingshot up going into next year. There's a real good chance we're going to be sitting there at number one. We haven't rebuilt to that level in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
We've just been bad for a long time. There's a difference between just being bad and rebuilding your team. Cherington, and nutting is still going to be nutting. We're still not going to spend the money, but it works for the Rays and it works for the Athletics every year. So why can't it work for us? Cherington knows what he's doing. And so there's some Pirates fans out there who have faith in this and still going to the games, realizing nutting's not going to spend the money, but realizing we don't need to have him spend the money. If we have an absolutely stacked farm system, where one guy leaves in free agency, you bring the next guy up.
I am. Justin understands. I'm like, what the?
Real quick, I have one comment before we get into a topic where we can all get into.
Something that I understand.
Real quick, one thing that I have to say is I was listening to an interview this week with David Sampson, who is a former, I believe, president of the Marlins, and he was on an interview with Carmen Alima on 92.3 The Fan here in Cleveland, and he basically said, as a president, if you can have a very good team without having to spend the money, that's so much better than having to than spending all the money and, I guess at that point, underperforming. I guess the way that the Yankees have the last 11 years and the Dodgers, although they did win a World Series last year, where those teams are able to spend all that money, and they do, and then you don't have the success. Where, for an example, what the Indians did in 2016 is that's better than what like the Dodgers and Yankees are doing.
I mean, you could make the argument that the GMs in the bottom 15 of teams in payroll in Major League Baseball have a harder job and do a better job at their job than, say, the ones at the top who can just go out and throw the checkbook at whatever position they need to fill.
Right.
Like that almost comes across as easier.
Do you guys want me to leave?
No,
I'll go back to being a robot.
No, you guys can have your bromance about baseball.
No, we're getting ready to have a fun conversation about Dwayne Haskins.
Okay, yeah. It's not fun, but
I mean, it's not fun, but it is what it is. It's something that we got to talk about.
Yeah.
So there is a lot to go on with that.
Caleb's hitting the hard stuff. Look at him. He's like, hold on. That's just.
He's like, I got. You two have your drinks and I have nothing. What the hell is going on here? But
drink your water. I literally tell everybody on Twitter every day to drink water, and you don't listen. So
it's because of Twitter is the reason why I have this drink, because I see Stone's tweet and it's like, okay, I gotta grab my water.
So
I just want all my friends to be hydrated.
And then I'm the rebel of the show. She says drink your water, so I go right for the Mountain Dew or something.
Oh, that's so bad for you. Anyways.
I feel like you'd know that, Jeff, if you read more books.
He said what?
I said I feel like you'd know that if you read more books.
Yeah, you're probably right. What's sad is the amount of time I've been in college, the amount of times I've touched books is very rare.
Let me upgrade y'all's lives, okay? Drink water, read a book. I don't even care what book it is. Just read one.
Can it be like the Magic Tree House?
Yeah.
Or the Captain Underpants?
Yeah, read whatever you want. I just want to know that you can read.
Or I could read a book about, what I should do is read Bill Cowher's book. That would be
That's what I want for Christmas. Everyone can send me one. Thank you.
I'll get you one, and then
Yay. Water is not bad for you. Get Justin out of here. I don't want to talk. Get out. Get out.
Just for that, every day I'm gonna start tweet. I'm gonna do my good morning tweets just like Stone. Drink your pop. Go and don't read your books.
Oh, did you say pop? Oh my God, I'm leaving.
Let me guess. Down south, you guys say soda.
It's a Coke, and then they're like, "What kind?"
No, it's soda.
And you're like a Dr. Pepper.
No, well, first off, it's pop.
It's soda.
It's pop.
It's soda.
I don't know what part of Ohio you live in, but it's definitely
the soda part. Apparently.
Apparently, that must be a little circle like yay big. The circle of his house is the only people in Ohio that say soda.
Hey, I'm only in Ohio like 30 more days, and then I'm out of here. So
hey.
And he's got to learn a whole new word.
Yeah. Next thing you know, he's gonna go down to college and say, "Yeah, can you hand me a pop?" They're like, "Huh?" But yeah, let's get into this whole Dwayne Haskins thing. Yeah, so Dwayne Haskins and his wife were down in Vegas where they got into an altercation where he got apparently a tooth knocked out by her. So right then and there, you're like, okay, this is just great, especially coming from a person who is trying to, clear his character, clear his image, which obviously we don't know the full details of this, but it's very, and I believe the date that I heard was July 3rd from when this incident happened. So it's been a few days now. And then they posted, in fact, here, I had it here on my Instagram, where they posted a picture 4 days ago of him and her as she's showing off a ring. So, did they get married after she decided to clobber him in the mouth, or what? We don't know exactly what the hell is going on with that, but all in all, it just seems like there's a situation after situation with us in Pittsburgh.
Caleb, let's hear what you have to say.
Oh God.
I've got nothing. I've kind of been away from it, so I just like, oh, it happened, and I've been too busy dealing with pirate stuff this week, man.
Oh boy. Sips water.
As far as I'm gonna go.
Sips water.
Yes, it is water in my Stormtrooper cup. Yeah, that's crazy, to be honest with you. I don't know. I really don't care about the timeline of if they're engaged, if they're married, any of that stuff. That's ridiculous. I think that, for one, I'd like to address the fact that people are saying he's not a victim. He's a victim. Just say what it is. Men can get abused, okay? All right? Men can get abused. And to make fun of that is ridiculous, because then you're like saying that it's okay to beat people, and it's not. You learn in elementary school to keep your hands to yourself. I don't know why people can't figure that out. But, and then, like, it's like a thing. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, well, he's trying to clear his name, and look at this. She hit him. We don't know the whole story, but obviously, he wasn't like, hey, you should punch me in the face. They had an altercation, something happened, and I don't necessarily say he was asking for it. So everyone's like, he's doing a real good job of clearing his name.
Well, it's not. It was. Yeah, it wasn't like. It wasn't a situation where it's not a situation where he was trying to choke her and then he punched him in the mouth to get him off. We don't know exactly what went on, obviously, because this happens in Vegas, and well, apparently what happens in Vegas did not stay in Vegas because, well, this got out everywhere, of course. But like Jay said, he makes sense. There's not really too much to talk about that because we don't really know the full details on that. We'll just see what happens. I
don't like that people are saying he can't say that he was a victim. You know what I mean? Like, people are saying, well, women can't hit men. Let me tell you, first of all, yes, we can. All right, so just stop with that. But you shouldn't. I mean, any kind of abuse is bad. It's not funny. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's just like when we talked about people coming out, football players coming out, and they're like, oh, well, people should be able to talk about issues. You should be able to talk about your mental health, your anxiety. You should be able to address abuse and fix the problem. Like, I don't understand why there's such a double standard with everything. Abuse is abuse, period.
Right. And it's a messed up situation all in all. And it sucks too, because I was a big fan of Dwayne Haskins at Ohio State as well. And I believe I've mentioned this before, where I was a person where I would have been okay with Pittsburgh trying to take Dwayne Haskins or trading up for Dwayne Haskins in 2019, because I felt like he could have been a very similar quarterback to Ben Roethlisberger, a bigger guy, not the most mobile, but has a very good arm. He could throw a pretty ball, and he just got
it wrong. Are you saying you're not a fan of Haskins now?
You said what?
Are you saying you're not a fan of Haskins?
Oh no,
now?
I when we signed Dwayne Haskins, I was very happy with that. And
I'm saying
then
right
I got clowned by all of my Browns fan friends about it, and saying, "Oh, Dwayne Haskins is the future." Oh, I'm so scared. Well, here's the thing: we don't know what's gonna unfold this year. There's a chance that Ben Roethlisberger comes out and shocks everyone. There's also the chance that Ben Roethlisberger gets benched middle of the year. We don't know.
Don't say that.
Well, we gotta be real with it. We gotta be real.
Say that.
I mean, I could also.
You don't say that.
I could also be playing reverse psychology. See.
You're so annoying with that. I'm gonna play devil's advocate. I'm gonna.
Yeah,
play
you got to.
Psychology.
But the thing, we have to be.
Like a kid.
We don't want it. We don't want to talk about it. We don't want it to happen. But there's always that possibility. There is that real deal possibility that Ben Roethlisberger could go out, play like absolute doo-doo, and then he gets benched middle of the year.
He's going to go in and be amazing.
But then there's that as well. Like I said, there's a chance that he could go out and absolutely shock us a year after 2020, where he's had more time to recover that elbow, where he has a new offensive coordinator, where he has a very good running back that what we think. There's all the ceiling is high, but the floor is low as well. And right now we're playing the game of we're hoping is this, but mentally it's like I want it to be here, but I'm preparing for it down here because now mentally when he goes out and he plays well, then it feels better. But my thing is too.
You are weird.
Well, I look at it at all.
I look at negative, and I don't like it.
I look at things at all angles. I try to be a realist when I can.
But you just said that you prepare yourself for the worst.
Because you've never done that. You've never prepared for the worst.
No, I do not. Listen, I live my life.
Because here's why. Because I don't want to go into the season where I'm thinking Big Ben's going to go out here and throw 40 touchdowns, go for 4,500 yards, and then he comes out and then first however many games he plays like absolute crap, and then we're all heartbroken. Where it's like, it feels good when he's doing this. But here's my thing, too, about Ben. I'm not necessarily worried about how he performs at the beginning of the year. I believe he's going to... Exactly what happened last year, I think will happen again this year. Look at the beginning part of last season. He played well. He played very well. And people were giving him praise, saying, okay, he came out here after a year of elbow surgery and played well. But my fear is what is going to happen over the course of the year? What's going to happen when you hit that middle part of the year and on? Is Big Ben, is he going to get to a point where he's maybe not all in and Matt Canada's offense and he starts doing what he wants to do? We don't know. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm preparing for the worst, but I'm also hoping for the best. I'm finding that middle ground.
My thing is like, and I know like anybody that knows me like well enough knows that I'm all about, you're going to get what you put out into the world. So if I sit here and I'm not going to be negative, I'm not going to attract that negative energy. Like I'm not, and I understand what you're saying, like be prepared for the worst so that way it's not soul crushing. I agree with that in a sense, but I'm not going to think about it. Like you prepare for it, then you put it away in a closet and you step away from it. And that way the plan is there, but that's not what we're thinking every day. You know, I'm not sitting here like, okay, we're ready if Ben's not good, but let's harp on it. Because I mean, harping on it's not going to change it. When he hurt his elbow, needed surgery, us sitting here saying, oh, we hope he's okay, didn't do anything.
I'll be honest real quick, and then I want to hear what Caleb's thoughts on this whole Big Ben thing as well. I'll be completely honest with you. In the group chat that I was in, the day, literally that moment when they announced that he was having surgery and I was done, first thing I did is I started looking up Justin Herbert. I'll be completely honest with myself. I was looking up stats on Justin Herbert. I was starting to study Justin Herbert because I was thinking that the season was going to go down the tubes because I'm glad it didn't, because that showed that it proved Mike Tomlin is really that good of a coach, and B, that it shows that we really have a great defense, which what carried us. But,
if you didn't know that before that, you knew it then. Let's hear Caleb though.
Yeah. Well, first of all, future Hall of Famer Justin Herbert, go Ducks. But no, I mean honestly, this season could go. Ben could come out and fall flat on his face, but he hasn't given us any reason that he would. He had a decent year last year. I feel like he's got a new offensive coordinator. He's got a decently rebuilt offensive line. He's got Najee Harris now, so they actually have a little bit of a run game, which can spread the field a little bit more. I mean, honestly, we'll see. I'm quite excited for this year, but I think Ben is going to finish out the year. I don't think that he's going to get to a point where his lack of play, if he's playing bad, is going to get him benched on this team. I think he's earned that. I mean, who knows? He could have a super high ceiling this year and do amazing. He could be just a middle of the road average starting quarterback. I mean, who knows what's going to happen this year? But honestly, he hasn't given us any reason to think that he won't do well. So why would I sit here and think he's going to do terribly? But at the same time, I kind of agree with Jeff here. Like, if you go in thinking like he's just going to be average, it's surprising when he does well. It's not surprising when he does bad. It's not surprising when they fail. You just think, okay, they're average. Let's move on.
It's different like in 2014 when you have 2014 Ben Roethlisberger. Of course you're going to believe that he's going to go out there and play well. He's going to go out there and do Ben Roethlisberger things. He's going to win you games. And him, Antonio Brown, and Le'Veon Bell are going to go out there and have a hell of an offense.
Justin out of the comments.
He said what?
Y'all got to come get Justin out of the comments.
Yeah, can we kick this guy out?
He's got to go.
I can't. He's
security.
I can't. He's my friend. I
understand. Like I agree with Caleb, and I think Caleb understands how I'm trying to word this. And I think we agree with Jeff in a way too. We're all just wording it differently. I know that Hope doesn't win football games. I'm not like crazy. Well, as crazy as you seem to think that I am. But I just don't think that you need to sit here and say, oh, well, he might be bad, and let's harp on that. Like, just he's going to go out there and play, and we're going to get what we get. And there's no sense in beating yourself up or the team about it or raising them to a higher standard. But set a goal, achieve it, and support your team. Otherwise, you're one of those fans that we talked about where we don't want to hear you say we because you're not really here for it.
Well, for me, like I said, I'm hoping that Ben Roethlisberger can go out here and prove everyone wrong. And it seems like obviously the national media has harped on Ben Roethlisberger saying that he's going to fall flat on his face. And it's going to be nice to be able to go out, pump your chest out and say, hey, we proved you wrong once again. You underestimated us once again. And then we went out and performed. But at the same time, it's a weird scenario for us Steeler fans as well, because we've been spoiled with Ben Roethlisberger for so long.
And you know what's coming. You know that he's not going to be there much longer.
Right. He's not Tom Brady where he's 43 still going out and winning and performing at a high level. We understand that. And this is unfamiliar territory, especially for me, because my whole life as being a Steeler fan, I've known nothing but Ben Roethlisberger. So it sucks. It really does. And it's hard to prepare to say, hey, we're very close to losing a 2-time Super Bowl champion, Hall of Fame quarterback. But I guess now it's if you prepare for it a little early, and then when it happens, it doesn't hurt as bad. But yeah, it's a situation of I don't really have much else to say about it, honestly. I was sitting here trying to find words to say, and I don't really have much more to say.
But I mean, I get what you're saying, and I think that this is a time where we need to be preparing a plan, because I mean, I'll be shocked if he's here next season. I'll be honest with you, I love Ben, but I would be very, very surprised if he was the
Can I say unless he goes out here and just plays like an MVP level, would I be a quote unquote bad fan if I said I'd be pissed off if Ben Roethlisberger was back next year?
Well, yeah, I hate you now, so.
Well, I mean, I thought you hated me before, so I thought
if he comes out and like plays good,
if he goes out here, plays very well, then that's a different ball game. But if like I said, if he goes out, plays at a very high level, plays like 2018 Ben Roethlisberger, then I'm okay with him coming back. But the reason why I say that too is because that hurts, because it's not a rebuild. We're not sitting here. We're not rebuilding, but it's more of retooling. And obviously, the quarterback is the most important position on the football team, and that is a situation of if he has a mediocre year and then comes back next year, well, now that hurts us because we're looking in a situation of, and this is something that we discussed, I believe, in our very first episode of. What do you do with the quarterback next year? Because you got to think that as well. Do you go and draft a quarterback? Is there a guy in the draft that you like in a class that's not necessarily that deep right now?
That's what I'm saying is if Ben has a mediocre year and he still wants to play next season, which would shock me if he even wanted to stay realistically. But if he wanted to stay, do you risk it and draft somebody who might not even be mediocre?
I'll be honest.
There's so much more to it.
But yeah, there's always a lot more to it, but it's just, and we're in a situation now where we have a young offensive line, we have a young running back, we have a young wide receiver core. At that point, it's a situation. So say here's an example of in 2022, there may not be a quarterback that you like, but in 2023, that draft, there's a quarterback that you've been looking for that you absolutely love, and you think he's going to be the franchise guy for the next 10, 12 years for your Steelers. Then that's a situation where maybe you go and see if there's a bridge quarterback for 1 year, or do they really, really like Dwayne Haskins? Do they really, really like Mason Rudolph? Do they see that much improvement in those guys to say, hey, we're going to give you a chance too? There's a lot of options and opportunities with us, and I think Ben Roethlisberger coming back next year, unless he has an absolutely great season, for me would not be the smartest thing. And I hate to say that, and I don't want to sound like a negative media member, but it's kind of just how I feel at the moment.
I'm just one of those people that I also wholeheartedly believe that there's a reason why I'm not a part of the organization itself, why nobody pays me for my opinion or for my facts, is because they know what's going on. So like when they do these things with free agents and they let people go and all that stuff, and you see Steelers Twitter go crazy, those people are in that position for a reason. We're couch GMs. We think we know what's going on, but there's a lot more that we don't know about.
Yeah.
So I try to trust in the process and hope for the best. I mean, especially you said we've got a lot of new guys, a lot of young guys. There's a lot of gelling that needs to happen. Mm-hmm. I don't think we're going to come out and dominate this season. I think there's going to be mistakes that we make. I think there's going to be getting to know each other, but I'm not counting us out either.
Well, no. And one thing that I've been saying about is the offensive line. Mm-hmm. Where the offensive line, it takes a little bit of time. It's just not day one you're gonna go in and gel. You're gonna have to get. There's got to be a connection. There's got to be that trust, and the person next to you is gonna be. You trust that he's gonna go out there and do his job, and it's just like that with anything. And I hate to bring. I'll bring up an example of the Browns because I feel like it's a perfect analogy here. Is what's going on with their defense and their secondary. They're bringing a lot of new guys in, and it's going to be a situation where maybe week one, especially when you go up against the Chiefs week one, that doesn't help your situation either. But they're in a situation of help. They got to grow. They got to grow trust. They got to learn to play the system. They got to understand the process of what the defensive coordinator wants, and then you got to go from there. And then over the course of the year, then that's when you'll see development. That's when you'll see growth. That's when you'll see better performances. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what's going to end up happening as well with us, with the Steelers and the offensive line especially, which I think right now that might be the biggest key, because we're not worried about the defense.
No.
We're not worried about the defense at all. We're not worried about our wide receiver core. We're not necessarily worried in Najee Harris. Obviously, what I've said about Ben Roethlisberger, but I also believe, too, that part of that was the offensive line, and the offensive line did not play well at all. Well, now if Ben Roethlisberger could go and sit behind that offensive line where they're playing well, where the run sets up the pass sets up the run, that's when things are going to be very smooth, and that's when the Steelers will be dangerous. But that's a huge question mark.
We got to see how they mesh together. And like what we said a couple episodes ago, this is like the most excited we've been about a Steelers season in a long time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very exciting. I would say one of the seasons that I was super duper excited for was the 2018 season. Even though we had the whole saga with Le'Veon Bell where he didn't come back and he was waiting for his extension and all that. That season was very exciting, too, because we still had Antonio Brown. We still had a lot of people were starting to get a little excited about Juju. We still had the great offensive line. The defense was starting to improve a little bit. That was a season I was very excited for.
And we came off a 13-3 year disappointment in the playoffs, and we were like, we didn't get worse this offseason. We're going to get better. Let's see how we ride this year.
Right.
So I feel I was excited that year too, but I still think this year I'm more excited this year.
Yeah, this season though is very exciting because of the fact that we're getting younger. Because if you look at our roster, we were typically one of the older teams in the NFL in terms of, you look at the offensive line, they were old. You have an old quarterback. So you get younger in the offensive line. You're still decently young at defense. That's exciting for the future as well. It's exciting to know that you have hope not only now, but in the future as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Jay says, I hate the Steelers, obviously, but y'all have the best free safety in the NFL. Well, thank you. We appreciate that.
Well, so nice of you to say.
We're keeping him, by the way.
You said what?
I said we're keeping him, by the way.
Yeah. That's something that, which, by the way, too, I would have to find it, but I did a lot of research a couple weeks ago about the future of the Steelers in terms of money, in terms of contracts, because next year, that's one thing, too, that's so exciting, is not only are we getting younger, but we also have about estimated right now, over $70 million to spend next year in free agency, which obviously we know we're going to have to sign TJ. That's going to happen. I hope. If not, all Steeler fans are just going to riot outside of Heinz Field and probably burn that thing to the ground. But
that will be the one time, I sit here and I say I trust the process, and they get paid more money than I do to think of that. That's going to be the time where I'm like, what the are y'all thinking? I do not trust this process at all.
Yeah, at that point. But yeah, we're all assuming that TJ Watt is going to get a boatload of money, and he's deserved of it. What he's done so far in his career has been nothing short of amazing.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah, it's been phenomenal. A lot of that, a good amount of that money is going to go there, but you still have the opportunity to go, wow, and within the next 2 years of free agency is going to be big, because now you could still, you'll have money to go and spend on some of your core pieces, but you could still go and get talent and bring talent in here.
But also, you have to remember, if Ben isn't going to be there next year, that's going to free up a lot more money too. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's all these things that we don't know yet, and we could have so much more space to keep retooling. Like I think we did really good this year with what we picked. Now, seeing how this plays out could determine what we do next year. And we might even have more money to make better moves and to keep, adding to these pieces and keep that gel going that you're talking about, the O-line gelling together. And then you add a few more pieces. These people have already had a year to work together. So let's add a couple of new pieces. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And here's a comment from Jay, because we got a couple minutes here before we got to go. He said, unbiasedly, there's no way y'all have a better record than last year, and we have the toughest division by far. Wouldn't be surprised if all three teams made the playoffs again. I do see the Ravens starting to fall off, though, since Lamar has been figured out.
Which I agree with him there. I think it's Austin, Cleveland at the top. I don't think Baltimore's at the top anymore. And I wouldn't be surprised if they made the playoffs, but at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if Baltimore completely missed it. It's gonna be us and Cleveland at the top. And we do have one of the toughest divisions.
Here's where it comes. He's like, so y'all have a good shot at second place. So he's putting the Browns at first place, which Stone's reaction says it all. But realistically here,
when your quarterback gets a neck, let me know.
Here, realistically speaking, here, when he says there's no way y'all have a better season this year than we did last year, one thing that I could come back with that is, people were saying we were going to go 8-8 last year. We were going to go 7-9 last year. That people thought Big Ben was going to come back and just play like absolute crap. And instead he goes out and plays decently well. 33 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. We'll take that all day long. But also, I think right now the talent maybe week 1 isn't as good as week 1 of last year, but give it the course of the year. And I'm specifically talking about the offensive line, because that's the part that's been retooled the most. And then he said, wouldn't be surprised if all 3 teams made the playoffs. I think we're all in agreement there. And then, although with the Ravens, although people say they'll figure out Lamar Jackson and he might be figured out, the thing is, though, is he really, though? Because he's just that unpredictable where we all know that he only runs at those short passes. But I also think that there has been improvements with his deep ball as well. And they still have a great defense. We got to remember that too. We all don't want to admit it, but just like the Steelers, the Ravens typically have a very good defense as well, which I think will help them out a lot. And as much as we all hate John Harbaugh is actually an absolute hell of a coach. I hate admitting it, but it's the truth.
Dang, Caleb, did you know that we were on the Ravens show today?
In the records.
I hate admitting it, but they're literally so good. Like, they're so good.
You know what? On that note, I'm so glad it's 7 o'clock. I'm so glad it's 7 o'clock. But so next week, I have homework for you two next week. For something that we're gonna talk about next week. We're gonna play the schedule game, but in a different way. We're gonna rank the Steelers season this year from hardest to easiest in terms of games. What do you think's the hardest game of the year? All the way down to what do you think the easiest game of the year is? So we have that for us.
Okay, we got to talk about this in the group chat because I want to know what the guidelines to this.
We'll put that out there. But yeah, also next week we will be revealing the winner of the giveaway for the free shirt from DC4L Custom Tees, and then also make sure to go and get yourself a Pretend Media member Renegade Roundtable T-shirt as well. If you want to support your local media Pretend Media members, this is the opportunity. Thank you everyone for tuning in. It's been a roller coaster of a show, but when isn't it here on Renegade Roundtable? I'm Jeff.
Oh, are we supposed to say our name?
Yeah.
Usually you say bye.
Well, I want everyone to say bye too.
Bye.
All right.
Bye.
See y'all next week.